Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. All right, it's summertime now. I'm getting back into shape again, getting back on the keto diet and stuff, and actually we're doing this 22-day low-carb challenge that my wife came up with. So we're using actually their recipe book. But here's the thing. I am one that kind of makes shit up as I go along. So I'll take a recipe and I'll kind of turn it and make it my own. So the bottom line is this. It's getting rid of the carbs, it's getting rid of the sugar and stuff, and getting your body to start living off of the fat. So it's still keto, it's just somebody else did a book and saying, here's the exact meals for 22 days that you need to eat. Okay. Keto's been working actually for me when I stick to it. Problem is Christmas gets in the way, and my mama's pies and cookies and fruitcake. Then you got the Super Bowl. You go to frickin' Atlanta, and of course everything is deep fried. I mean, you have, barbecue fried rib. I mean, that's the thing. They fry everything down there. And then you have, weekend trip with friends. And every time I get off keto, it's like, all of a sudden, I balloon up 3 or 4 pounds, but as soon as I get back on it, the weight kind of goes down. So I'm getting back on there, and I'm going to try and really stick to it because I want to get down to 240. I had gotten to 272, started doing keto for a little over a month, and got down to like 250. And had I continued, I'd probably be below 240 right now, but I've been getting away from it. So yesterday, I ended up doing fajitas, steak fajitas on the grill. And man, the fajitas were fantastic. Great thing was I cooked enough extra that, my wife ended up basically having a fajita salad for lunch. So if you cook enough, you can have some of it the next day and so on. So what I'm doing today, their recipe is actually, and I messed up because it should have been chicken breast with the skin and the bone on it. But I didn't get those. I got just boneless chicken breast. But this is a real simple recipe. It's basically baking it on top of either bok choy or on top of broccoli. So I like broccoli, my wife likes bok choy, so I'm actually doing both. So I've taken and I made a bed of broccoli and over here bok choy. Now what I'm going to do, I love this seasoning. You can actually make this yourself, but it's called Emerald's Essence, okay? I'm not getting paid by Emerald or anything like that, but it's really good seasoning. It's got a little bit of everything, and it's kind of like Lowry seasoned salt, but to me it's got less salt in it and more seasoning to it. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the vegetables just to give it a little bit more flavor to it. Now what's going to happen is, and the reason why you actually want to do chickens with breasts and the skin on it, because then the fat will melt off of it and the flavor from the bones and stuff will go in there. And so the juices will melt on top of this and give you more flavor and give you more fat. The problem with chicken breast is there's not any fat really in it. It's not fatty at all. And so it doesn't have as much flavor. And believe it or not, you need some fat in your life to have that flavor. When you have a steak, you want to look for a marble in it because it's got those fat layers and stuff in there that melt into it and give it flavoring. That's why I love a ribeye steak. A ribeye steak has that fat into it and that marbling, and I will actually eat the fat because the fat is actually good for you. And if you really get into ketosis, you have to feed your body fat to burn the fat. I know it sounds crazy. It doesn't make sense, but it works. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and split these chicken breasts because I know they pumped them full of steroids. And, that's like a turkey breast. I mean, come on, let's be real now. They're doing something to that stuff. They're sticking salt water in there to pump it up, and who knows what the chicken's eating. And you don't know what you're getting these days. But what you're going to do is butter. If you can go ahead and get your grass-fed, ghee butter. That's what it is. Ghee butter. Get some of that. And what I do, it's real simple. Fresh is always better. See this right here? This rosemary plant I've actually had for several years, growing in the window through the winter. Basil right here, growing. You go out there, and well, look, if I burn myself, I got plenty of aloe vera. But if you go out on my back porch here, I've got like 4 or 5 different kinds of basil out there. I've got sage growing. I've got garlic chives. And it's real simple. If you got a window that gets sunlight, you can go to the home center and buy yourself some spices and put them outside. Boom, put them in the window. Like I said, I've had basil growing all winter. And the flavor from it is incredible. And the rosemary here, you just basically touch it, and it's almost like an air freshener. You get that pine smell to it. So I've taken the butter and let it soften up, so it got to room temperature. Add a little bit of garlic to that. I've added some cilantro. I got cilantro growing out there too. Oh, I love my cilantro. Cilantro growing on it, and I've got a little bit of sage. I've got rosemary. I got thyme, all in there, chopped up, mixed with the butter, and we're gonna put that on top of the chicken breast. So as it cooks down with that butter and that juice is gonna melt on top of that, and hopefully make it real good. Now, I got a hot taste. Sorry, I just love heat. So I'll put a little bit of cayenne pepper on top of it just to give it a kick. You don't have to put that on there, but see, this is a great thing about cooking is you want to do it where it's personalized. If you come to my house, generally speaking, you're going to have some hot food because I love spiciness. And believe it or not, because a lot of people, oh, I can't take spicy foods, it'll give me indigestion. No, actually, spicy foods are good for digestion. True story. So, anyway, I'll go ahead and cut my chicken breasts. These damn humongous size ones. Now I'm going to leave the fat on there. I'm just going to take off this little piece that's right here, which is kind of rough and gristly. But the fat, the little that's on there, is going to stay. And I'm going to split these because they're so damn big that we don't want to have ones that are literally that thick. So we're going to put that right on top, just like that. Now normally, what I'll do when I do this is I'll take these pieces and I'll put them in a pot, a couple of chunks of the chicken, take some onions, some basil, and some garlic, and just let that cook down to make chicken broth. It'll be a great flavorful chicken broth. A little salt, a little pepper, and doesn't have the preservatives in it. And freeze it. And if I get real creative, what I'll do is I'll actually get some chicken thighs to go in there, so you get that dark meat, and you end up getting a lot of fat in it. I'm going to try and do one more in here, so that way we have enough for lunch tomorrow. Another great one to do too, if you want to have great stock, is if you're doing shrimp and you're peeling the shrimp, take the shrimp shells. And what you're going to do with them is, you're going to take some butter, melt that, put the shells in there, and stir it up. Add some basil to it, add some salt. If you have a little Old Bay into it, some garlic, and let that cook down, and you will have the most incredible stock ever. And I mean ever. The other two, I'm going to go ahead and put in the freezer, and we'll use that at another time. In fact, I think I will go ahead and make some stock out of that. We'll put that in there, and we'll make sure that we bleach this before we use it. Always, always. Hot as hell water, soap, wash your hands for about 30 seconds at least. Scrubbing, okay? One thing I'm very proud of is that nobody's ever gotten food poisoning at my house. Now we'll get the bleach spray that down. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is, we're going to take this butter here, I'm just going to spread it right on top of the chicken. And that's going to melt down and go down on top of the broccoli and stuff. Everything's better with butter and bacon. Now, I'm going to say, people always ask me, Mark, how do you learn how to do stuff? Now, this is true. Everything I know how to do, and it's not much, But be it building cabinets, be it building furniture, be it cooking, raising kids, setting up a studio, YouTube. It's all done by trial and error. I like to go through and taste food, ask what's in it, and then I like to go through and take and put my own spin on it and make it my own. Let me get a little cayenne pepper here. Just for a little kick. And what I've learned with cooking is fresh spices make all the difference in the world. And there's different kinds of spices and different kinds of heat. So you can have a jalapeno pepper, but it tastes a lot different than a chipotle pepper or a ghost pepper. So it's not so much just to burn somebody with heat. It's good to have that flavor with it. So 400 degrees, you just gonna cook that for about 25 minutes. And the juices will cook down on the vegetables, and that's it, that's dinner. I might go ahead and put a little avocado, slice up fresh avocado and put on there, you know, and maybe have a little salad with this, but that's it. So I'm gonna wait until the wife gets off before I go ahead and put it in here. Probably go for a little walk, get a little exercise in, pop that in the oven while we're walking. See you back. Okay, been for our walk and stuff, and I've got the oven set at 400 degrees. See that? Look at that. Taking this. Now this is the first time I've tried this recipe, so this is gonna be new for me. But we're gonna put it in for about 20-25 minutes until the chicken breast, of course, reaches an internal temperature of about 160. And then we'll go ahead and try it and see what it tastes like. I'll be back. I'm gonna go take a shower and change. All right, it's been about 25 minutes and we're gonna see if it's tasty. Let's take it out. And that's what it looks like, okay? So we've got the chicken breast in there. You see all that liquid that's come through. The butter's melted and gone down with the spices on the vegetables. And let's see what it looks like here. Cut a little piece to make sure it's good to go. Okay. Look at that. Perfectly done there. Then underneath, there's some of the broccoli. Underneath, oops, there's some of the bok choy. So we're gonna try a little taste of it. All right, so this is the first time I've made this recipe. Let's see how to. The chicken is definitely moist. Let's see if we can cut it with the fork. Chicken is definitely moist. Take a look, good look at that. See, it's hot. Check the broccoli. Still a little bit crunchy, which is good. I don't like it soupy. And then of course the bok choy. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. All right, so that's our keto meal today. An herb butter chicken. Next time I will do it with the skin and the chicken bone. So it's like a chicken breast with the bone and stuff on there. I think the bone will give it more of a brothy taste to it, and the skin, of course, will add more fat. But that's pretty good. See the juice? Look at that. That juice. Very, very tasty. I'm Mark Holmes. We're working on our keto diet. Now, one last thing. Here's what's amazing. Because yesterday morning, my wife was like, oh, we got to get back and do this 22-day challenge. Okay. So yesterday morning, I was 258.6. Today, 254.6. And I think that basically was all the sugar and all the junk that I've eaten the last few days. So it's melting off, and we'll see if I can get below 250 this time. And quite honestly, I've only had a couple of snacks of some lunch meat and stuff today, and I had my fat coffee this morning and some water, and that's it. And I'm really not that hungry, but I'm going to feast on this. I'm Mark Holmes, and thank you for watching.